Okay, cool. So we're on constants and variables, and the first thing that we wanted to know is what are constants and variables? Like I mentioned, I thought constants and variables can be the same thing, but it seems that they are not. And I like it. I like it because we cannot define them as the same thing. Well, both of them are containers, but they function differently. A constant container or a constant can only hold one thing at a time, and it cannot change it. And a variable can store can change what it is storing at different points in throughout the life cycle of the system. That's what I'm learning here. But a constant can only store one thing at a time, and it'll never change until you redeclare it again. But obviously, a variable can change what it is storing at different moments or at different times or life cycle of the system. Pretty much is what I want to say. I hope I'm using the right terms here. So let us read it here. It says constants and variables associate a name, such as maximum number of login attempts or welcome message, with a value of a particular type, such as number or a string hello. The value of a constant can't be changed once it's set. So I think that's what we talked about there. So it's constant. It's not changing. Whereas a variable can be set at a different value in the future. Can be set to a different value in the future. So this makes sense here. So now the first question is, we know what a constant is. It's as explained here. Oh, by the way, I'm looking at the docs.swift.org, and I think it's a very good documentation. Where can I paste this? I'll just do this for now. I think it's very good documentation that one can look into here. The code is amazing. Yeah, I think that documentation is very good. So let's see here. So declaring constants and variables. So how do we declare them? Good question. How do we declare these things? Coming to the declaration part, I'll just do this. I'll just do this. Let's code back to this so that I can just switch easily. Declaring constants and variables. How do we do that? Well, we have the let and then we have the var. Ooh, okay, cool. We have the let and then we have the var. And I think what I like about this is that obviously to begin with, the keyword var is self-explanatory to an extent because it literally says variable. Now let is not as fine. We know what let is, but then I like this. I like this because even the way that they're different. Fine, they're both containers, but then they're defined differently, even with how we declare them, they're differently. And obviously, this is a constant. What I'm about to declare now? What can be a constant? Ooh, I know we have pi, and okay, well, I know we have pi because I copied it somewhere. But yeah, I like how Apple can just write a pi just like that. This I don't know what that is. There's yen. Ooh, it's a nice one. There's a cross. I know what that is. Alright, cool. Anyway, I know there's a pi. A pi can be constant, which we do know is 3.14. Cool. Now, obviously, we cannot in the future change our pi to 4.1. That just won't happen. Let's just comment this guy out for now. That just won't happen. Cannot assign to value pi is a let constant. So it's a constant. So pi is an unchanging thing. The nice thing about this is that if maybe you have values such as text, you can declare them as what you want them to be. Because obviously what we do know about them is that they're constant. But then obviously I was thinking about the naming convention for constants. Because now obviously somebody like me, I will see the word text and I may try to reassign it to something else. So I know there's a naming convention for these things, other people, and obviously they will put capital letters here or uppercase. They will name it with uppercase characters, which is cool. And now it'll make sense going forward that there's something like this. So now we can see how we declare a constant. That's cool. So now what about a variable? How do we declare a variable? So a variable uses the keyword var. So now what's interesting about this is that now as a keyword var, the keyword var is now reserved. You cannot create a variable called var. That doesn't make sense. It violates the rules of declaring variables. So let us call this one James. Okay, well, can we declare? Oh, let's just call it username. We'll just call it Shigomatlala. I don't know why Shigomatlala, but we'll just call it that. Cool. So I think that's how we declare them. A constant gets the keyword let, a variable gets the keyword var. That's pretty much how it is, and it's simple. So we can print them if you want to. Print, oh, username. What do you print var for? Let us also print text, and then we can try. I don't know the shorthand way of running our code. Okay, cool. We see the Shigomatlala and then there's text, and we can also print pie. Sounds tasty. Cool. We can also print pie. Exit full screen. Interesting. Anyway, so we can also print pie, which is nice. It's cool. So yeah, I think that's the first part of declaring these things. So now what else is there that we can see? Let's create another variable called email. Gmail.com. Cool. That's an email there. Cool stuff. So let's see. Oh, cool. So we have let maximum characters, maximum number of login attempts, which is equal to 10, and then we have var current login attempts, which is 0. Okay, now it makes sense. So, because obviously this is a maximum and it's static. It's not changing, so it's a constant. And var will be changing throughout time. So if we make, let's say, an application that's going to count the number of times that a user has been logging in, obviously this will be incrementing as we attempt to log in. So let's see what we say here. Trying to zoom in and out. Okay. Declare a constant called maximum number of login attempts and give it a value of 10. Then declare a new variable called current login attempts and give it an initial value of 0. In this example, the maximum number of allowed login attempts is declared as a constant because the maximum value never changes, which makes sense. The current login attempt encounter is declared as a variable because this value must be incremented after each failed login attempt. Now that makes sense. You can also declare multiple constants or multiple values on a single line. So I think that's one of the maybe shorthand way of doing things. So we can try that and see how it looks. So we can say var. Okay, let me say first name. Ooh. Now I'm tempted to want to say var first name, last name, and ID number is equal to empty string. But I know this will not work. It shouldn't work. I don't know. I don't know why I'm telling me to do that, but yeah, but it appears that we can declare multiple variables using a shorthand way on the same line like that. Type annotation is missing. Okay, well, if I say it is a string, then it should work. Should it? Should it not? Alright, cool. We'll just leave it like that for now. So it appears that we can do it. Let's see how they did it here. Oh, they also gave them values to begin with, so that means we can also do the same. Nice. We can do the same. That's cool. An ID number is obviously a string. For now, I'll just do this. So that means what we wanted to do was supposed to work. So now I don't know what this value here is saying. Oh, it's fine. Well, it works. So let me just go back to this. Dope. So then that means I can just print first name, last name, ID number. Will this work? It should. You better work. You better. Okay, there's no error. There's nothing that we're facing here. Where's my pie? Where's my pie? I see the Shigomatlala. Let's do this. People. Or maybe is it because this is short? Nah, but then there should be par. And I don't know why this guy's not printing par. People. My first name is People. Hmm? Cool. Sharp. Oh, I think I know why. Oh yeah, I think probably the reason is because where I'm starting or running. Because if it appears that if I start to debug from this point here, it's only going to print people and it won't debug all these guys here. Okay, let's see what's next. Cool, that's what we have here. Note, if a stored value in your code won't change, always declared as a constant. With the let keyword, use variables only for storing values that need to be changed. So I think for now, this is simple, it's straightforward. And I think what I like about it is what's going to take us to the next lesson of what is this? Obviously, now we have variables. But then now, coming from a C++ point of view, we know when we declare a variable, we need to specify the type, the data type of the variable. We would do something like int, let's say age. What's age there? Age is equals to 20. That's normally how we would do it in C++. But it appears that we're doing it different here. We're giving everything the var keyword if it's a variable, or the const, or if it's a constant, we give it in the let keyword. But obviously now what happens when I want to give it a specific type? When I want to give the variable or the constant a specific type. So that's what we're going to look into next. And yeah, I hope you like this segment, guys. Thank you.